I'm the best Jeremy Citron I possibly can be in trial. And literally, go try this case, go try this case. And I tried case after case after case on the criminal side. I was inspired by Leslie Nielsen's umpire in the Naked Gun movie. The case came to me, quite honestly, after the statute of limitations had run.
Welcome to Celebrating Justice, presented by the Trial Lawyers Journal and Cloudlex, the next-gen legal cloud platform built exclusively for personal injury law. Get inspired by the nation's top trial lawyers and share in the stories that shape our pursuit of justice. Follow the podcast and join our community at triallawyersjournal.com. Now here's your host, editor of TLJ and VP of Marketing at Cloudlex, Chad Sands.
Welcome back, friends, to Celebrating Justice. In this episode, we hear stories from trial lawyer Jeremy Citron, founder and partner at The Hurt Boss. Jeremy shares his journey from baseball umpire hopeful to high-impact trial lawyer. To get to the stories, I asked him, why did you want to become a trial lawyer?
I really wanted to be an umpire for baseball. I wanted to go to umpire school, work my way up through the minor leagues, and eventually make it into the Major League Baseball. I thought it was going to be great. At the time, as stupid as this sounds, I was inspired by Leslie Nielsen's umpire in the Naked Gun movie. So my dad and I were talking after I graduated from college, and he was like, that's a great idea. Why don't you also take the LSAT as a fallback?
Did you ump like high school games before you went to college?
No, I was just fascinated by baseball at the time. I really liked it. I wasn't even really a baseball player in high school, anything along those lines. I just liked it, the sport. It was back when the Braves were winning an awful lot. It was right around, we were every year in the playoffs. It was after Sid slid right us into the playoffs. So it was a big thing in Atlanta at the time. And I just thought it would be fun. And I thought it would be a fun career to travel, to be involved in the sports, really just to be active, all sorts of good positives for it. My father finally looked at me. He goes, well, just take the LSAT. Let's see if this is a backup. You've been naturally good at legal mind thoughts, that type of thing. And honestly, Jeremy, by the time you get to the major leagues, you might be a partner in a law firm anyway, making more money. And so I started thinking back and forth. I took the LSAT that summer. And then I went to law school. And for me, law school was the first place it really clicked. In high school, I managed and excelled in getting what we call gentlemen's B's. So in a Jewish household, those are Jewish F's. But in a prep school in the South, gentlemen's B's, you show up, do your work, you get gentlemen's B's. In college, it's more gentlemen's B minuses, C pluses, or whatever. I went to Tulane. I joke with people, when you go to Tulane and you major in alcoholism, you'll go to any law school you can get into. I got into law school and it clicked. And I mean, the first 6 A's that I made were the first 6 classes that I took. And so I knew I was kind of onto something. I had the mindset for it. And it was something that I could excel in. And I felt that I could excel in it because of the way that I was doing in law school. And then I got a job working for one of the largest law firms in the country, Holland and Knight, as a summer associate with them, and really did well in the summer and really enjoyed it and went back. And I felt that the challenges were good, but the life of a defense attorney or corporate defense attorney, I should say, just wasn't it for me. I wasn't going to court as much as I thought I was going to. I wasn't given the opportunities to take the depositions that I wanted to. They did give me an opportunity, and this was very changing for my career, I'm going to tell you, to be a fellow at Atlanta Legal Aid. So I spent 9 months while working for Holland and Knight, being paid by Holland and Knight, but giving my time to Atlanta Legal Aid. And the people that you meet when you do work like that really is perspective changing. It can be like a gut check. Literally, as I went back into that office at Holland and Knight, I spent another year there, but it was a constant question. Why am I doing this? What's the motivation? And the passion just wasn't there. And so what I was given the opportunity to do was go and work with a guy that did criminal defense work, a guy named George Stein, great mentor of mine. He taught me to try cases, and literally, go try this case, go try this case. And I tried case after case after case on the criminal side. And there's nothing like on a criminal defense side getting your ass kicked almost every time that you go out there to court. That is also perspective challenging because my clients would go to jail, but I wouldn't. I mean, there's just so many things. And eventually, George tapped me on the shoulder and said, Jeremy, we're diversifying the firm. I want to make you a partner into what's now Steel Horse Law. It's a motorcycle personal injury firm. We started up. And I got really involved in the marketing of it. But more importantly, I got involved in the case building of more complex civil litigation cases for people who can't speak for themselves. And that's when I really found the passion. So that's really for me where the law school passion clicked in with why it is that I'm doing this. And ever since then, it's just been something that I really enjoy doing. And that for me is the blessing, because if you can be like, I like what I'm doing for a living, I'm passionate about where I'm coming from, you're going to be successful in anything that you do.
So in a lot of ways, the big law defense firm showed you the light when they were still paying you and having you on payroll, but you were working at that legal aid foundation.
Oh, it showed me the light from a lot of reasons. The legal aid was different. When you deal with people that have nothing, and I mean nothing, and then you go back into a world where they're like billing you out at ridiculous amounts per hour and sending you to Akron, Ohio. So I was on the Firestone Tread separation team at the time, and I would go to Akron, Ohio for like 10 days in a row. It was a lifestyle choice. It just wasn't what I wanted to be. And it wasn't what I thought lawyering should be, to be honest with you. And by the way, I am incredibly appreciative of the time and the training that I got at Holland, and some of the best lawyers that I've ever worked for, some great friends that I've made, great mentoring. It just wasn't my place. And I think that that's important too, is to recognize where you're supposed to be. And that is part of the journey.
And so you were seeing the signs along the way, then you worked and got your trial experience, it sounds like, on the criminal defense side, and then finally found your kind of true calling in personal injury.
For a couple of years, I think about 4 years, I was also the prosecutor for one of the local municipalities in Atlanta. That was a part-time gig every other Wednesday. That was fun. And it was a nice way to give back in a way to the community to be a prosecutor. But I got to tell you, that was also tremendous experience in prosecuting cases really fast on your feet, and great experience. So all of it together has kind of gotten me to this point. But the real first trials that I had were in Atlanta Legal Aid, because it was an organization that had no choice but to give me the full responsibility to run these cases and to run the defenses and to run the trials. And it was great experience. So that when I moved into the criminal defense side, I really had my feet on the ground. It was just a different body of law. And then again, that part of it became the most humbling part of it, because you go from helping people at Atlanta Legal Aid to trying to help people in these criminal defense cases and largely not being successful because they're so difficult really to defend when people are largely guilty of what they've been accused of doing. And I'm not saying one way or the other. Largely, I think most criminal defendants are going to wind up having to face some type of consequence for it.
From aspiring Major League Baseball umpire to criminal defense, then into PI, after all these years, what makes you unique as a trial lawyer?
I'm not sure that I've got a good answer for that. I'm going to tell you why. I think that the first thing is that's a lie. I'll tell you what makes me unique as a trial lawyer is the ability to stand in front of a jury and be a trial lawyer. And that's a long way to sit there and say every one of these people that really tries cases, not lawyers in general, but really tries cases, is unique in their own right because you somehow become a communicator. For me, I think I'm a very effective communicator with people, especially in group settings. I think I can translate concepts well. I think I can make emotional connections with people very quickly. And I think that stuff helps. I think the number of iterations that I've had in criminal cases, working as a prosecutor, just dealing with people on a regular basis helps me get to that point. But I think the most unique thing about me is, to be honest with you, I'm just willing to give it a shot and go out. Nobody's expecting perfection on a trial. And when you understand that they're just looking for a human presentation that can get your client's perspective to them and engage and pull the jury into where you want them to be, if you can understand that, you've got it going. And for me, I'm the best Jeremy Citron I possibly can be in trial. And that's all my goal is. You should be the best Chad you should be while interviewing me and every time that you possibly can, because that's what your business is and that's what you're doing. So from a uniqueness, I think it's my personality and the way that I'm going to approach things. But other than that, I'm just a skilled lawyer like an awful lot of great lawyers out there are.
After all these years, I know it's hard to choose one, but if you could share one or two stories about a case that had a significant impact on you?
It's not hard for me to choose one. I've got the case without a question that I was made to be a lawyer for. And I think not that I'm a tremendously spiritual person or religious person, but there's a way that this case cosmically got to me. There's no question about it. And it's one of the craziest cases. It is still pending. I can't tell you everything that we know about this case. We have a quadriplegic client now who came to me. He was rendered quadriplegic in this motor vehicle accident. He had a prior attorney. The prior attorney really didn't work the case the right way. The case came to me, quite honestly, after the statute of limitations had run, but there are a couple of technical details that you can work, or technical loopholes is probably the better word, that we can work, and we fit it into a case where we could get the case filed. And we were able to, throughout the course of this case's life, and we've been doing this now 5 years, we have 4 different lawsuits that we've had to file. It is complex, but it works like this. My guy was sitting on the highway, stopped. The guy that hit him was allegedly driving a stolen vehicle. He slammed into him at speed, sent my client into the retaining wall, spinning. And that's it. It is game over at that point. The guy, he was driving his girlfriend's car. He had never had a driver's license in his life. She knew that, and she would regularly let him drive her cars. What we found out is she would also regularly require him to bring the cars back when she wanted him to. And if he didn't bring the cars back fast enough, she would call the police to get him motivated to come faster. So we actually have 3 or 4 encounters on video, thanks to the body cameras, of her complaining about the cars being stolen and the whole routine back and forth. And we were able to get the passenger of the vehicle before we made the demand on the insurance company. We got a statement from him. We knew he was the permissive driver. The passenger said he saw the keys get handed. So we knew we were on firm footing, and the guy's family just wanted that justice. They just wanted that kernel of truth to come out to what really happened. So we've already accomplished those goals, but now we're in a position where we can set them up for, if we're lucky and things play out, an extra contractual judgment in line with the true value of their case. To be fair, my client's got an economic damage profile of about $20 million. And that's before we get into the life care planning and before we start getting into the pain and suffering, the loss of life, the loss of consortium for his wife. This has just wrecked his family. But for me, the most base is knowing that these people and their case was nowhere to be found. And it really needed somebody with a little bit of tender love and care to really work the case and investigate it. And we did it. And it's a tremendous I shouldn't really take this because this is like my client's case and my client's life, but there's a tremendous amount of self-worth that comes with working so hard to get that kernel of truth to my clients and then provide it to them. Now, I know that they would also like the money. It will make their life a whole lot easier, but that had tremendous value alone to it. And so for me, this is the case. This is the reason that I'm here to be a lawyer.
At CloudLex, we understand the unique demands and opportunities that personal injury law firms face every day. That's why we've built a comprehensive platform designed exclusively for personal injury law. Our seamless case management, AI engine, litigation support, and record retrieval solutions empower you at every stage, from intake through settlement and beyond, helping you stay productive, organized, and focused on achieving successful outcomes for your clients. Explore what's possible at cloudlex.com. Now here is this episode's closing argument.
I think I'm really blessed to have found the spot where I'm supposed to be. Using my skills, using the level of confidence that I have and the passion that I can put together to help other people. Because what we're doing here, and this is all trial lawyers, we are helping people that will never be able to speak for themselves because the system is not designed for them to do so. The system is designed to trip them up, to keep them from telling their stories. And we have that skill set. We have a position in society where we can make a difference for individuals. We can make a difference on a societal level. And that's something that if you're willing to harness as an individual and a trial lawyer, you're going to be incredibly successful. And there's just no other way to say it. And if you can put passion and engagement behind it, the sky's the limit. And along the way, to know that you've made a difference for people, it's everything. So that all sounds incredibly corny, but it's true. We are, as trial lawyers, underappreciated champions for people that can't speak for themselves. And it's time we should honestly rebrand ourselves and appreciate who we are and what we do.
That was trial lawyer Jeremy Citron. Thanks for sharing your stories. To learn more about Jeremy and his firm, visit thehurtboss.com. All right, I'm Chad Sands. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
You've been listening to Celebrating Justice, presented by CloudLex and the Trial Lawyers Journal. Remember, the stories don't end here. Visit triallawyersjournal.com to become part of our community and keep the conversation going. And for a deeper dive into the tools that empower personal injury law firms, visit cloudlex.com/TLJ to learn more.